there guys, so it's Tina and I am back and I am here with a makeup tutorial, get ready with me video featuring this smoky neutral look. I really love it though, it's pretty. Oh my god. So I am actually using two palettes. No, that's not the one I used. Two of the On The Run palettes from Urban Decay that I recently got. They sent this to me in PR and I fell in love and I wanted to test them out, especially this shade in the Shortcut palette. This shade right here. Oh my god. So that's what we're doing today. So it's mostly Urban Decay, but I'm also using some of my favorite products, some products that I've been loving. And we're gonna just go ahead and stop talking and jump right into it. So if you want to see how I got this look, then stay tuned and I will talk to you soon. Alright guys, so as usual, I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. And the first thing I'm gonna go in with is a treatment essence. This is from Fresh. It's the Black Tea Kombucha Facial Treatment Essence. I love this stuff. I've been using it every day since the winter started and I just love layering this on my skin. I just get a few drops in my hands, rub them together and pat it into my skin and allow it to absorb. Then I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of under eye cream. This is from Ole Henriksen. It's the Banana Bright Eye Cream and I just tap a little bit of that under my eyes just to moisturize and get that area all nice and juicy. Because again, dry skin, winter, and it's not fun. Then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my moisturizer. This is also from Ole Henriksen. It's the Sea Rush Brightening Gel Cream. I've been loving this as well. Whew, let me tell you, it smells delicious first of all, but it just absorbs quickly into the skin. It gives me this moisture and this plump effect to my skin, but it doesn't leave it sticky or too hydrated. Like, it doesn't feel too slick on my skin, which I don't need any slickness before I apply foundation because hello, oily skin. I love this moisturizer. I apply that just quickly to my skin, let it absorb. Now that we're zoomed in, my brows are already filled in. I will leave all the details below, but I just use my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Fill that guy in. Then I'm going in with a bit of concealer. This is the NARS Radiant Concealer and the shade I'm using is Ginger. Where did I get this shade from? Why do I have this shade? I don't know why I have a shade that is this light, but we're gonna pretend everything is fine because wow. I think I got it to be more brightening than the caramel shade that I usually use, but that's a little light, ain't it? Nah. That's really light. This is not my style. So let's try to blend that out with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. The brush I used before was the Anastasia number 18 concealer brush. I'm gonna just use my foundation sponge just a little bit because I need to blend that. Okay, see now it looks better now that I really blended it out. And this sponge is dry, so it's not adding any moisture to my eyelids because I don't need that either. Now I'm going in with this matte lid lingerie from NYX. This product is a great just all over lid color and you just apply it and go. Just blend it, well, don't apply it and go. Just blend it out and it will give you just a wash of color and it is matte. I really love this, like a daily wear kind of product. So I'll just blend it out and it gives a little bit of zhuzh to the eye. It gives just something, nothing crazy, and it sets in place and it doesn't crease. So I have really been loving these products from NYX. No one talks about them and I'm wondering if people are even aware that they exist because NYX, let's be honest, releases something new every 5 seconds. They're like ColourPop. And it's overwhelming when a brand has so many products. And I understand they're like the MAC of the drugstore where they have a full range of products. They have all the shades, all types of products, all the things, but it can be a lot overwhelming. So you see, it just gives this wash of color to the eyelids. It's great as an eyeshadow base. And then you can also use other shades from the line. They have deeper shades. They have like an orangey tone, but they have nice skin tone shades that just give a little bit of something. So definitely, I would say check them out. Now I want to go ahead and try out these new palettes from Urban Decay. These were sent to me and I just fell in love with this particular palette. This is Shortcut. I fell in love with this shade, which is After Hours. Oh, this is such a beautiful like taupey. Let me show you because it's just, don't mind, look at the pain. I scratched my hand and it was just a hot mess. But look at this. It's just this beautiful taupe with a little bit of purple to it. It's so gorgeous. And I have been attacking myself. I was assembling a IKEA furniture, and this is the stuff. This is what I do to myself trying to be cute and get pretty storage. Now my swatch arm is all scratched up and I can't get swatches done, and I am fed up. But this eyeshadow palette is somehow gonna make it okay, alright? So I'm gonna start out with the shade Laced. This shade right here, which is a matte, kind of muted pink shade. And I'm gonna pick that up on my Sonia Kashuk blend-in crease brush. Now I don't think this is gonna do much because it kind of matches the shade that is already on the lid. But I just want to make sure that I add a little bit of like a blend-in shade, transition shade right there in the crease. And we're kind of just going to build that color just a little bit. Again, it's not going to be anything crazy because it's not a deep shade on my skin tone. But it's just going to give us that light, like mauvey pink background. Then I'm going to grab the dark brown shade in the palette called Back Alley. And just lightly, that's a color. That's nice. So I just picked up a little bit because I want to be able to blend this out and just create dimension, but not too much color right away. So I'm using circular kind of buffing motions. You'll see right there in the outer V and outer crease. That's going to help buff that color out and give us that little bit of dimension that we need. And you see, I'm not really pulling it all the way in. I just want to add a little depth to that outer V. That was actually really easy to blend out, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more to add depth now. This color is working beautifully. I really like that a lot. So again, just building up color and just buffing along. What I'll do is I'll wipe my brush off in a clean washcloth that's just sitting in my lap and get off the excess product while I'm blending so I don't add too much product. That looks really good. I almost want to stop right there. This is a simple look that I would do. Like I said, you add that wash of color with the lid Lingerie, add a little bit of depth, mascara, and you're out. Maybe add a little bit to the lower lash line, but nothing crazy. And this is a beautiful look, just a one and done. But I am not going to do that today because I want to use this color. Speaking of that color, let's go in with After Hours. Yes. Now I'm gonna apply this dry on my Rite Aid eyeshadow brush, just on the outer lid, so I'm not bringing that all the way in. It's kind of like the outer lid to the center, and blend that out. I want to dampen my brush to really amp that up, but I want to apply the shadow dry first so I can get that first diffused layer. And this is kind of a really good shadow just to do a quick wash on the lid and go, because it's a beautiful color, but it's not as deep on my skin as it looks in the palette. Like, it looks really dark, but it doesn't really apply too dark. It's just this beautiful taupe. Now, as I said, I want to amp that up, so I'm going to spray my brush with a little bit of primer water from Smashbox. Then pick that color up again on the brush and just pop it right over where we have the dry shadow. So it doesn't deepen it up, it just adds more pigment, which I'm okay. This is such a gorgeous, oh my god, this will make a gorgeous all over lid color, but I don't want it all over the lid today. But that would make a beautiful, like, just a subtle smoky eye. Now I'm going back in with the Sonia Kashuk blend-in crease brush, and I'm kind of just doing a little bit of zigzag buffing motions over the edges of the color. Now I think what I'm gonna do is blend a little bit of Rendezvous and Back Alley, the two dark matte shades in the palette, and I'm gonna take it back on that outer V, outer C, just to build up the dimension a little bit. I don't like that warm look. I almost want to do like a rich dark brown. Maybe we'll pull in another color from one of the other palettes, because I don't really want it to go rosy. And it's cute the way it is, but it's kind of a cool taupe. And then you have that red, so I don't necessarily think it goes with the colors in the palette. So that's kind of interesting that they put that color in with these. It works, it's pretty, but I feel like I want more of a dark purpley brown. So I'm going to grab this shade from Sephora. It's called Sweet Brownie, It's a dark matte shade with a little bit more of a purpley neutral undertone, and add that to the outer V. See, that's giving me more of the look that I want. You see that purple coming through? That's more what I want than the red and the brown from the palette itself. Now, if you wanted to use those shades, it's fine too, but I'm just going for a very specific look, and the look that I'm going for requires a little bit more of that purpley undertone. Do you see the difference it makes? It just gives a different look to the look. These Sephora shadows are pretty great as well, so I recommend checking them out. I should do a full video on them because I don't see a lot of people talking about them, and they dropped the prices and changed the packaging and everything. So it's these single little pots. Okay, so the bottom opens up like that and you pop the shadow out. So it kind of sits in the packaging like that. So the lid opens up and you have the shadow, or you can depot these and put them in your own magnetic palette. Love those little shadows. Let's continue. I also don't have a brow bone color in that palette, so I'm gonna grab the Detour palette because I'm gonna use this teal, I think, for my lower lash line. But I'm gonna go with the Off the Grid shade, which is just a beautiful ivory shade. It has a bit of a pinky undertone to it, and I'm gonna pop that right under my brow. It's not a full-on matte where it's just gonna look dry. It has like a touch, I don't know, like it may have a little bit of sheen to it. Not really though, I don't really see a sheen. Don't mind me. And just blend that out with my MAC 252. So what we can tell so far is that the palettes aren't necessarily 100%. You might need to pull in other shades or use a couple of the palettes together. What I am gonna use from the palette though is the shade Sin, which is this beautiful goldy champagne. And I'm gonna put that on the inner lid, and like the inner half of the lid. Just for a little bit of sheen. I'm not gonna wet this one and intensify the metallic look to it. I just want it to be a simple sheen on the lid, and I'll just go in and blend out the edges. So it's just gonna give a lighter look to the inner lid, but it's not gonna be too metallic. All right, let's pull back and work on the face a little bit. I'm grabbing my Tarte Clean Slate Primer and applying that to my nose and my cheek area right by my nose where I have enlarged pores that don't want to let me be great. So just applying that with my finger, pressing it in and kind of rubbing at the same time. But be careful how you rub this. It can try to ball up. So I'll just apply that, press it into those areas, even in my smile lines. Okay, so for foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match. They actually sent me a set of these, all of the shades. Apparently, they have expanded the shade range, and now they have, I believe, 40 shades. Hold up, let me not lie. 45 shades. So they have a great selection, and they have neutral, cool, and warm undertones. So I think this would be a good line to choose in the drugstore if you're trying to find a nice shade match that you can wear for every day. And the one that I'm using is N7 Classic Tan, which is what I've always worn in their collection. Like, I've always worn the shade Classic Tan, but they didn't really go much deeper than Classic Tan, and now they have gone all the way down to, I believe they call it Espresso C10, but they also have dark chocolate, coffee. I love that it's all chocolate. Hot chocolate, hey! Deep golden. So they have various shades to choose from. This contains 1 ounce, and the cost of it, let's see, it's $10.95, and you can find that at Ulta. So that means you can use your coupons and stuff, and L'Oreal always has sales. So for $11, not bad. And I actually really like the finish of this and the coverage that it gives. It's not like heavy duty coverage, it's more of a medium coverage, but I like the finish of it because it's like, I don't know, it's more like a satin finish, I would call it, not like a ultra matte, but I prefer a foundation that leans more matte. So if I like it, that means it leans a little bit more matte than glowy. So if you're into glowy, this is probably not for you. But if you're just looking for something easy, it's okay. Okay, does it look like not a good shade match right now? Does it look too light? Kind of looks too light. Okay, we're gonna work on that. Don't worry about it. I have the other shades too. I actually gave the remaining shades to one of my friends from work. So she's starting cosmetology school, and I gave her the shades to add to her makeup kit because I want to give things to people who are going to use them, and she's definitely going to use them in her course and then when she starts actually doing makeup. And to be able to give somebody like almost a full range is really good. It's a good start for her, and it's, why not, you know? So I have a couple of the shades I saved. I saved C6, which is Soft Sable, and Warm 8, W8. So I have other shades to mix with it, which was exactly what I knew I needed to do just in case, you know, I got darker or my complexion changed a little bit. You know, in the winter and the summer, a lot happens. So it blends really nice. Like, what do you guys think? Let's zoom in. Apart from the shade match right now. Right? Okay, I need to blend around my nose. But doesn't it look nice? It's like an easy foundation. I've been wearing it to work because it's so easy to wear. And I think it looks pretty good. And again, pretty inexpensive at the drugstore. So I really like this. Let that sit for a little bit. Now for my concealer under my eyes, I'm not going to use my favorite Kevyn Aucoin. I'm actually going to use this Born This Way from Too Faced because I need to start using up my other concealers, especially since I love my Kevyn Aucoin concealer and I want to wear that like every day versus using it just for YouTube videos. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I don't want to use my favorite products all the time for tutorials where I know I'm just going to wear this makeup for a couple of hours and then wash it off. I want to save my stuff for when I need it, when I'm going out. You know what I mean? But I have so many other concealers that I do need to use up. So that's what I'm going to do. They're not bad concealers. They're just not my favorite, and they're not my favorite. Now I'm going to go ahead and set under my eyes. This powder, even though it's my favorite, I can use it because I have like a ton of it. And it makes my under eyes look really great, which is what I want to do on camera. Right. But this powder is from La Prairie. It's their translucent powder. It's translucent 2, I believe. I love this powder. This is my e.l.f. sponge, by the way. I also love this sponge. I love all these things. Let me set around my nose. Because my nose is not looking cute just now. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to use this Becca Perfect Skin Mineral Powder Foundation. The shade is Bamboo. I am also trying to use up pressed powder. So I have my Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation. I know I absolutely love. But I also have other powder foundations and other pressed powders in my collection that I want to use up. So I'm also, you know, alternating between them. And I do like this powder. I also like the Black Up one that I used in a couple of videos. So I do really like these powders as well. So why not use them? I'm going to go ahead and just apply my mascara quickly before we finish up the rest of the... Okay. Are we mad or are we mad? Let's just do the mascara and then go for the under eye. Alright, so I'm going back into the Detour palette like I mentioned before. And I'm going in with the deep teal shade Plunge. I'm grabbing that on a MAC 242 and running that on the outer lower lash line, bringing it about 2/3 of the way in. Going back into the Detour palette, we're going to grab the shade Switchback, which is this iridescent shade. I'm going to grab the shade on the same 242 and run it right on the inner lower lash line. That's going to brighten up right under our eyes. That is beautiful. Oh my god, I'm going to run a little bit of that on the inner tear duct as well. Nothing too crazy though, but that's beautiful. And blend out the edges. I'm just using the same brush with the face powder just to run along the edges. and blend out any harsh lines. Lower lash mascara is my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara as per usual. Now for my lower lash line, I'm going to grab an Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. The shade is Flipside. It's just a beautiful shimmery teal. There's no glitter in this, so I'm okay with putting this on my waterline. I'm just going to use that to help make the teal on the lower lash line pop a little bit more. Now for the lashes, I'm going to go in with the Double Wispies from Ardell. These are such easy lashes to wear. They have an invisible band, and it's just a really simple style. It has a slight winged shape, but nothing too extreme. And it adds a nice fullness to the eyelashes without being overwhelming. So I absolutely adore these lashes. Once I apply those, I'll pinch them together using my Shuuemura S curler. This is one curler that I recommend anybody getting. It's an open cage, which means there are no barriers at the edges. So you can use them for any eye shape, small, large, it doesn't matter. You don't have to fit your lashes into anything. You just pinch your lashes with them. And then I'm gonna go over the lash band using my Fenty Fly Liner, just to cover up the lash band and cover up where the glue might be showing through, because, you know, we want a seamless band. I'm not applying a wing or anything, just covering the lash band. Now for the lips, I think I want to do something dark and vampy, but I don't want to do like a burgundy or anything, because that's not really going to go with the eyes. So I want to do something rich and dark. So I'm going to outline my lips first. So I'm starting out with this lip pencil from MAC. It's the shade Chestnut. And I'm going to really outline my lips, make sure it's nice and filled in and defined, all that good stuff, because we're going in with a dark chocolatey brown shade. This is from the Sephora collection. It's the shade number 11, which is Fireside. It's a satin cream finish. Oh my god, these shades are so beautiful. These lipsticks are amazing, and they're only $8. So I'm gonna apply this to my lips. Now this is more of a fudgy dark brown. It's not really chocolatey, it's not warm at all. It has a cooler, more neutral undertone. Really love this shade, so I'm gonna apply this. It's rich, it's creamy, it's buttery. Oh my god, it's so good. So I'm gonna apply that all over my lips. Then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of lip gloss. Now this is gonna look a little weird. It's the shade Seriously from Dose of Colors. It's a lighter color, but I'm just gonna pop that on the center of my lips just a little bit and rub my lips together to give it a juicy effect, but it's not gonna change the color at all. Now that we have that on, I can go in with my cheek colors, and I'm not going to do anything crazy, I don't think, because I really like a simple face with such bold lips and like a really smoky eye. So I'm going to go in with this Pretty Shiny Things Face Compact from MAC. It's the medium deep trio. So I'm going to grab the blush shade on my Delium Tools blush brush. This is the 968 Phase 2 brush. Is that what it's called? Woo! Oh, that was not cute. This is the BDHD Phase 2 brush. Now these powders are a little bit hard pressed, so you do want to have a stiffer brush. It's a really just toned down blush, which is what I'm going for, and it has a little bit of glow to it, so I'm not going to add a highlighter. I know, blasphemy. Who on YouTube doesn't apply highlighter? But that's all I'm going to do to my cheeks, and then I'm going to grab the bronzer shade. Just a little bit on my Japanesque 709 brush. This is just their flat, like it has angles to it, like it's a triangle brush. I'm going to grab it on the edge and just do a little bit of shading in the contours of my cheeks. Nothing crazy. I'm not like sculpting out anything, because we don't need that right now. I just want a simple look to my face. And I'll grab a little bit on it, on the flat side of the brush now, and run it along my hairline, just to deepen that up a little bit, add a little bit of dimension to the face. And this contour shade, it has more of like a reddish undertone. It's not really like a warm tone brown, not on me anyway, so it looks really beautiful. And that's it. That is the finished look. What do you guys think? I am in love, okay? I really like these Urban Decay palettes, except that I think you're gonna need to pull in other shades sometimes, because this palette, the one that I use, what's it called? The Shortcut palette. The berry shades just didn't go with my favorite shade in the palette, which is that smoky taupe. The taupe I feel like is a little bit more deep purple neutral, versus the berries in this. The dark brown works, but I felt like I needed more of a neutral brown, so I grabbed something else in my collection, which I feel like I'm okay with because I have those kinds of shades, but you might not be okay with grabbing other shades in your collection, which is fine because the berry shade does work too, but it's just going to give you a different look. It's not going to give you a neutral look like I love, but overall, I enjoyed using even this palette with the teal and this shade. This shade is really pretty. It just gives a little bit of like an iridescent light, like teal on the inner tear duct and that brow bone. I love it. And these lip colors, I'm telling you right now, stop everything. I think these are so underrated. Not a lot of people spoke about these this year, and I think they deserve a lot more love. But yeah, that's the finished look. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, I'm going to leave a full list of all the products used and mentioned down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links happen to be affiliate links that send you to Sephora, Ulta, and that means I will get a small sales commission if you purchase through those links. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. But if you do shop through my link, thank you so much, because it does help me to put it right back into the channel. And I will also leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat all up here, so you should definitely be following me along. And if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a little thumbs up. There are other videos at the end of this that you can check out as well. But until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.